And how can we sustain this private consumption? It is because of institutions like the rural banks that cater to the small and the very small. So as our country comes to rely more heavily on the local market, because we have seen that the international market is really just too unstable and volatile, your role as a major engine of local finance activity becomes more important. You help to keep business humming in the base. And by doing so, you prove once again the commercial viability and the social necessity of our rural banks. Well, if you and we in government together were able to bring about a system that is third best in the world and best in Asia in microfinance, it is because we have both believed, you and we in government, in micro-entrepreneurship. We have campaigned actively for more Filipinos to become entrepreneurs. We have put great emphasis on micro-enterprises, which comprise maybe 90% of our total economic activity. In the last 8 years, through the government, through the Land Bank mostly, about 150 billion, is that right, Hilda, has been unleashed for microcredit. Much of this amount, though it came from the Land Bank does not retail. So it has reached micro-entrepreneurs in the countryside through cooperatives, accredited NGOs, and of course, the accredited rural banks. Peter Fabula sent me a text message on my way here. Couldn't put it in my speech anymore. That the private banking sector, mostly rural banks, has an outstanding loan portfolio now for microfinance of 6 billion pesos to 900,000 clients with over 200 banks involved. And so I thank you all for taking care of them, because your micro clients are the same micro enterprises that are helping enable the economies of our towns to remain active despite the global slump. The report of the Philippines being number 3 in the world and number 1 in Asia in microfinance was also reported not only by the IFC, but it was several multilateral financial institutions and announced by the Economist Intelligence Unit. And may I add another quotation from the Economist Intelligence Unit, which said, where the Philippines differs from its neighbors, and indeed from most crisis-hit economies, is that the crisis has generated less pronounced economic ups and downs. Certainly, we had no economic ups and downs in the last 8 years. We only had uninterrupted growth. I remember when I went to Washington with Secretary Fabula and I met some senators who had been friends of U.S. senators, who had been friends of the Philippines since the 1980s. One of them said, the problem with the Philippines is you have your cycles, your ups and downs No, I said, Mr. Senator, not anymore. Not since 2001. We have not had a boom and bust cycle anymore. It's been boom, 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 and even during the crisis, though our growth slowed down, it's still positive. And therefore, that is one of the big differences. And private consumption and rural banks are a very important ingredient in that sustained growth. So thank you very much to all of you. And to continue what the economist said, the economy has not contracted at all during the current global crisis. How true this is indeed. We have achieved much in the areas of infrastructure investment, job creation, macroeconomic stability, and improvements in our overall business environment, that has helped us through the worst of the global economic crisis. The result is a Philippine economy that is stronger and more able to withstand shocks such as those that the global financial crisis is throwing at us. Not only have we sustained positive economic growth throughout the global recession, but we even exceeded expectations for the second quarter. Moreover, financial reforms, including the bill that I authored, which became law when I was a senator, and later on through the Central Bank of the Philippines, financial reforms have created a solid fundamentals that underpin our banking sector today, reinforced by your conservative banking practices. Your values have significantly sheltered our country's finances, and that is why you are among those who helped that in recognition of this stability, Moody's Investor Service upgraded the Philippines' credit rating last July. Because of the bitter medicine of reform that we took early on and the economic resilience that it has in turn created, today indeed, as I said earlier, we're a stronger, more robust nation. And we are poised to ride the wave of the coming global rebound because the signs are there for a global rebound. Let's hope it is maintained. And therefore, as the rebound comes, because we are fundamentally strong, we've survived the crisis, the rural banks have an opportunity to capture the growth prospects that will come with a global recovery, especially for the base of the pyramid. Therefore, we look to our rural bankers to continue to play an active role in promoting growth in the countryside. And I know you will not shirk from this role because as a sector, while some banks have failed, as a sector, you have never yet failed our people. So side by side, let us continue to beat the odds so that with strong microfinance, with a strong base of the pyramid, the rural banking system will be one of the institutions that will propel our country to the edge of the first world in 20 years, when you turn 70 years old as an association. To all of you, congratulations and happy 52nd anniversary.